Hi, my name is Shaun McCarthy. I'm the Senior Athletic Trainer and Instructor here at Coe College.
And I'm Jason Taylor-Ohmes. I'm a junior athletic training student.
We had our athletic training students return last week with do some organizational stuff and get ready for our upcoming fall seasons. Every year we go ahead with those students and kind of do some educational things. And one of the things that I cover as a CPR instructor is CPR, AED, foreign body obstructed airway management. And so we had just gone over that stuff, and we do this annually with all our students just to make sure they're up on these things. Typically, we tell our students that typically if you're going to have to do this, it's probably going to be on somebody you know in an environment away from here. Well, it wasn't more than 2 to 3 days later when our students arrived here, our athletic students arrived here. Jason was over in the cafeteria and had to do a foreign body obstructed airway revival on one of our student athletes.
It was dinner time, and I was sitting with my soccer athletes. I'm working soccer this year, and I was just having a conversation with one of the soccer players that was sitting next to me, and asked him a question, and he didn't respond to my question, and I looked over, and he started coughing and turning blue and whatnot, and surprisingly didn't hesitate at all, and just had him stand up, and I took the chair away from him and just began doing a standing abdominal thrust, and the obstruction was cleared, and he went on with the day, I guess. So it was a scary and exciting incident. I didn't think I'd get to perform it, especially right after we were taught. So it was good preparation, I guess. So.
This is a foreign body obstructed airway on a conscious choking victim. And typically with this, the universal choking sign is people putting their hands up here. Most of the times people do not do that, but you'll notice they can't talk, they're choking, they may be turning blue around the mouth and face. And so a rescuer would come up, as Jason's going to do here, and just say...
Yeah, so he was choking, and I had him stand up. I came behind and I placed my hands halfway between his umbilicus and his xiphoid process and started doing upward abdominal thrust motion until the foreign body was dislodged.
And so, how long did it take?
It actually took about 8 repetitions to dislodge it. So, well, actually, my wrestling career in high school was a very tough. It was a tough road. I went through a lot of injuries, and I was in the athletic training room all the time at my high school, and got really close with our athletic trainer, and started learning stuff just because I was in training room all the time, and I've always been interested in human body anatomy and physiology, and just felt like this is kind of what I want to do because I want to be involved with sports, the rest of my life.
We've really seen a change with that to be a more conservative on our management of concussions over the last several years, and it's really been in the news a lot with a lot of the stuff in the professional sports, and that has a trickle-down effect to everything that we see now going to the NCAA, and even in the high school level now where there's some policies. So the NCAA has instituted a policy where we have to have a concussion management plan at each institution, which we do here. We also have a conference-wide concussion management plan that the athletic training staffs in the conference have looked at and adopted. So it's something that we're seeing the long-term effects of these concussions can have on our student athletes, and being much more conservative in management of these things so they don't have any long-term problems that we've seen. We really have a good group of athletic training staff in the conference here. Most everybody has 3 to 4 athletic training staff that's really assigned specifically to their athletic training services. And our conference here, 6 of the 9 have accredited KD athletic training education programs similar to what we have here at Coe College. So it's good to kind of oversee the athletes as they help with their service, but then we also have these athletic training students that help us get ready, and they want to go into the career as well, so that they're working under our guidance. And as Jason here, sometimes you never know when things are going to happen.
It's still pretty fresh. I feel good about it. I can't lie about that. And as far as the athlete's perspective, he just kind of went on with the rest of his, with the rest of the day, I guess, afterwards. And he's grateful, and a lot of people got to see it and were congratulating me, I suppose. So it made me feel good that I was able to help out and everything, but it was definitely a scary situation at the time.
So one thing I would say is, we're looking at emergency management stuff, this is part of that, and that's one thing. We do a pretty good job with our athletic training students so when they walk out the door here to realize, the various tests you're going to have. Nobody's going to really die of a broken bone, but there's some things that you really need to be adept of and know, how to handle these things. And when I graduated from my undergraduate program, that's one thing I wasn't real confident in. What would happen if somebody would go down? And I feel pretty confident now, and I try to relay that to our athletic training students here to say, well, if this situation happens, and I teach them in our classes and through our experiences at covering sports, if this happens, these are the steps you should follow so they have a little bit better understanding. And we try to mock those things with our athletic training students. So if they're ever in a situation like this is a pretty common thing. Probably choking is a pretty common thing you see. Again, it probably happens more frequently away from the athletic training setting on family or friends or in a setting that somebody would know. This is actually my 6th person that I've taught that has saved somebody's life or been able to perform either CPR or foreign body obstructed airways. So over my years as an instructor, I feel pretty good about that, and I think it's pretty important for people to learn these things.